This video will take you from your first Pong game, which you should have made using the Scratch Team tutorial, to a two-player Pong game. So let's take a look at how this game is working. I have this apple, that's the ball, and then this green line is one of the paddles, and this is the other one. And so if we hit the flag, it's going back and forth. We can go back and forth with the other one, and we can play two-player Pong. You can notice, by the way, up here that the score is changing. If the apple gets past one of these two Pongs, it's going to start adding up. Now it's stuck, so that could score a lot of points. Anyway, so let's just stop this. All right, how does this work? We've got two red lines down here. These two are sprites, and that corresponds to this line and that line over there. You might not be able to quite see. I'll just move it up for a little bit. Okay. They basically have the same code. When the green flag is clicked, we're going to do something forever, which is if the apple ever touches the red line, we're going to change the score. So this one is for that line, and then we're also going to play a sound. This just makes it say every time the apple hits this line, because we're in this line right there, we're going to play a sound. You don't have to do this second where you don't need to make a sound, but I just put that in. Fine. Then we have over here, we have another. So yeah, this is basically changing the score, and there's player one score. Right now it's at 0, and this is making a sound every time the apple hits it. Well, okay, just real quickly, how did it even get that line? I had to go into here, choose a sprite, and I just typed in up there, line. There it is. I could add another line, and you see it's line 3. Notice that it comes in horizontal. I can go over here to direction, and I can change that. All right, and if I want it vertical, 180 will do. By the way, 0. I think I ought to do the same thing. Yep. All right. So anyway, that's how I did that. We're just going to get rid of line 3 here. Let's take a look at line 2. So line 2 is this line over there. The position, we could just move it around, right? But if you notice that we could also change our X value right here from 214. Let's say I made it to 180. Let's enter it. That moves it back and forth. So I'm going to move it back here to 208. Fine. So that's how I have the lines. And again, the code's the same. Paddle. This is going to be a little bit different. So that's pretty easy to find you choose a sprite, type paddle, I believe. Yep, there it is. Let's go back. So fine, we've got our paddle here. This is one of the paddles. And what it's saying is when, as soon as the game begins, the green flag, keep doing this the whole time. Up arrow. So I have these choices of keys, and there's lots of them. Basically, all the keys. You could use any one you wanted, including the space key. But anyway, I wanted up, the up arrow, and obviously I want the up arrow to make it move up. This is probably the most surprising thing. -10 is up. -10 is up. So when the up arrow is hit, that paddle is going to move -10, which is up. And then this one is to make it move down. So I can go back and forth. Fine. Then paddle 2, just like the two lines, almost the same thing. But now I need to push different buttons if I'm having two people play this at the same time. So again, do this once the game starts. Do it forever. And what are we going to do? I have the A key. Again, I could have picked any of them, but the A is a little bit higher up, so I said A. and that's going to make my paddle move up, and that's the -10 again is up, surprisingly. And if I want to move down, I'm hitting my Z key, which is right below the A key, and that'll make it move down. Fine. And most of the code is actually in the ball, or in this case, the apple that's flying back and forth. So let's leave this up here for you for a little bit. As soon as the game begins, forever, so do it until the game ends or until I hit the red stop sign. What are we doing? We're saying if the ball here, if the apple ever hits the paddle, and there's paddle 1, which is that one, and paddle 2, this one. If it ever hits this, it changes direction. That's what turn, pick random to 190 degrees does. And then move 10 steps. You should have seen this, these commands in your first Pong game, so this shouldn't be new to you. Wait a half a second, then play a sound. And alternatively, what else happens if the apple, again, we're talking to the apple right now, we're in the apple's code. If it hits paddle 2, change direction, move 10 steps, wait half a second, and play the ricochet sound. And then finally, all these things are doing is setting the first player's score to 0 at the beginning of the game, setting the second player's score at the beginning of the game. And there we go. That's the whole thing. We've got one line that is if this ball or apple hits this line, then if this apple hits that line, then player 1 is scoring. If this apple hits that line, then this that's player 2 score going up by 1. And then I made a sound. Remember, this didn't really need to be there. Same thing. I don't need to do a sound for that. You can if you want to. The green, the paddles are just the up and the down. That's all the code that we have in there. This is for paddle 2 going up and down. And this included changing direction when you hit the paddles and moving around and starting the scores at 0. So there you go. Good luck. Make a 2-player Pong game.